We are still in the first day of the 25th annual conference, SAASTEC, hosted by the SAAO here in Cape Town. I have Dr. Mamoeletsi, the Managing Director from SAASTA. Ma, can you please reintroduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. My name is Mamoeletsi Mosia. I am the Managing Director of a business unit within the NRF called the South African Agency for Science and Technology Advancement.
Yeah, I know it's a long day, so I'll just have a few questions for you. Where the first one is saying, how does SAASTA support science centers?
Well, SAASTA, I think maybe before I talk about science centers, I need to talk about the role of SAASTA. As I said in our name, we are supporting or advancing science and technology, which then means that we need to be supporting the engagement of science or with science with the communities. So the role of SAASTA essentially is to coordinate science engagement within the country. We have been mandated by the DSTI to coordinate science engagement, and this essentially is ensuring that there is cohesion in terms of science engagement with all the players in the science engagement space. That includes universities, science councils, and science centers would also be part of the players. And therefore, to answer your question in terms of how do we support science centers, there's a number of ways that we support science centers, and I think it should be you should note that the support that we grant is informed by the work that we do on behalf of the DSTI. And part of it is, for instance, we have what we call programmatic support, and it is funding that we provide to accredited science centers. And this is funding that enables science centers to do science engagement initiatives and science engagement work that is aligned with the work that we are doing and that is aligned with the programs that we want to push forward. We also then do skills development in terms of the science centers, and this varies. I mean, for instance, we introduced a program about 2 or 3 years ago where we were taking science center personnel and we're taking them through a career guidance training, because we realize that a lot of science centers don't have personnel that are equipped to assist with regards to science, to careers, career choices and career development. And if you remember, one of the aims of this science engagement strategy is to popularize science and make it attractive and relatable. Yes. And part of that aim is so that we can get as many young people as possible to choose careers in STEM. Yeah. But then if they do not have assistance in terms of making the right choices, in terms of subject choices in particular, then we will lose them, because you find some of them saying at the end of their matric year, I actually want to be an engineer. And you find that they were doing maths literacy, for instance. So with the science centers being within communities, we are able then to have people who are the young people are able to engage with. And then other trainings, for instance, or assistance or skills or assistance in general or development initiatives would be in terms of how to run science centers, in terms of the managing of science centers, in terms of exhibit building. So there's a variety of things that we do with science centers. But the other important one with regards to science centers is we also do the accreditation. So we might think that we are both a referee and a player, but we're not players, we're referees probably. So we do the accreditation of science centers. And that is also a program that is supported very much by the DSTI. And we encourage a lot of science centers in the country to be accredited, because through them being accredited, they then get to benefit in some of the programs that we have, because a lot of them are ring-fenced for accredited science centers.
Okay. Is there maybe mistakes that you can advise them when they are submitting their proposal, that guys avoid doing this or try to focus on something like this?
I don't think that I could talk of mistakes per se. And I think more than anything, so it's not so much about the proposals that they submit. I think for now, it's more the accreditation part and for those that are not accredited, I'd like for them to familiarize themselves with the framework for the accreditation of science centers, because that framework actually guides them in terms of what it is that is required in order for them to be accredited, and also to engage with us as NRF-SAASTA to get to understand the accreditation framework, and maybe to get assistance in terms of understanding some of these things which may be a challenge for them, and we can see how we can assist them. In terms of proposals, really when they submit proposals for programmatic support, a lot of the times the science centers that submit, they already know what it is that they should be doing. Most often than not, it is when it's a matter of us not being able to give them the amount of money that they are asking for, but we're able to give them something so that they are able to do the work that we want them to do. And I think also answering that question, part of the things that we'd like for science centers to do a lot more of is to focus on science engagement. And earlier today, I was talking about the 11 publics that we have on the science engagement strategy. And my wish is for science centers to start thinking beyond learners and teachers, because a lot of the activities that they have are geared towards learners and educators. But we have another 9 publics. Okay, maybe the researchers and the science interpreters would be part of, the ones that they focus on, or they are part of those ones. But we then need to focus on the rest of the public so that we expand our reach. And so that's what I would like for them to focus on.
Okay, I promise to be very short, and this one is my last question. For the delegates that are here, and also any person that will actually or check out this video, what is it that you would like science communicators or science centers to take away from this meeting?
I think the SAASTEC conference is a very, it's an activity or a conference that all of us look forward to. We know that at the end of the year, towards the end of the year, we are going to meet together as the Science Center community. So for me, there's 2 things about this conference. The first one is networking. And networking is literally networking with the science center community in the country. There's more than 50 science centers. Half of them are accredited and the other half is non-accredited. And it's an opportunity, especially for the non-accredited, to engage with the accredited ones, for instance, just to understand what it is that they need to get that accreditation. It's a networking just outside of the accreditation. I'm probably pushing the accreditation, but just it's an opportunity for professionals in the space to know each other, to see each other, to know who to engage with when they want to do things and they want to learn. And I think also the important one is for them to learn from each other. The discussions are varied. I mean, I sat in this afternoon and someone was talking about STEM clubs in schools, for instance, and how as a science center they are helping or they are wanting to resuscitate the STEM club culture in schools. And I know so many others would benefit from that. So it's an opportunity for us to say, oh, so this science center is doing this and they seem to be to be doing well in it. Maybe we can learn a thing or 2. Let's engage with them. Let's find out from them how they are doing it so that we can also adopt and do similar things with us. I believe that it's a very nice opportunity for the community to learn from each other. We don't have to go anywhere else. We have excellent science centers already amongst us, and this is the best way to learn. And obviously then we get to see the country. Every year we go to a different province every year. And when we go to a different province, I like the fact that SAASTEC is very intentional in terms of ensuring that we get to explore what is happening in that province in terms of science, science communications, the science center community, and even the activities that we do as part of the social activities. They are geared towards us having a better understanding and appreciation of science communication and the science center community. So I'm very excited about all the other things that we'll get to do outside of the conference itself.
Thank you so much, Ma, for your time. That was Dr. Mamoeletsi, the Managing Director of SAASTA.